Hey guys, today I wanted to show you some advanced tricks for the auction house. Some of you may know some of these, but it's still pretty useful stuff, so I'll go over everything. The first thing I want to show you is that it's actually possible to keep track of items you're interested in under certain conditions. So normally you can't watch an item without writing down what it is and looking again and again. But one thing that you can try, and it works in the majority of situations, is fighting an item that you might be interested in, but okay, it works best if it doesn't have a buyout, right? So if this weapon here, for example, if I were interested in knowing how this weapon is doing on the auction house, I can make a bid for more money than I currently have. So I'll make a bid here for 500 million, right? So I only have 42, so that's more than what I have. When I click bid, it will say that it could not be processed, right? And if you go over to completed here, it will say that it has failed. My bid failed. But this, if you then go to the dollar auction house and come back to gold, that weapon is going to be tracked now on my bids. You see, this is the weapon I bid, 500 million. This is not a valid bid, but it is a way for you to make a wish list of the things you want to look at. So this works whenever you can make a bid that's more than your total amount of gold, right? Be very careful. Don't actually bid for something you don't want to bid on. But so when it has a buyout, you have to make a bid. Okay, so maybe this one here. The buyout needs to be more than your current amount of gold, because otherwise you would not be able. You can't make a bid of 80 million on this ring, for example. The program won't let you. But since the buyout is much higher than my current amount, if I wanted to, I could make a bid of 60 million here, for example, and after switching auction houses back and forth, it would show up here on this list as well. So this is a useful way for you to keep track of the expiry, know where the bid's at. If you're looking at several things at once, you can do it. I really don't know why Blizzard didn't introduce a wish list or any sort of bookmarking, but in the meantime, you can use this to track your items that you're interested in. So the second trick I wanted to talk about, it's actually pretty basic, and it doesn't help that much, but sometimes you're like, say you went to the dollar store to look for something, and then you decide, oh, I'm gonna look for some gloves here with crit chance 7%, crit damage 10, and then you look and, oh wait, I didn't want to be here, right? So to save a tiny little bit of time, I mean, it's just a tiny trick. You can go back to gold, and then instead of typing the same numbers again, you can just press the tilde, that's the key underneath your escape, and it automatically fills in the same values they had on the previous search. So it saves you like a second each time, but it can be useful, right? The third trick I wanted to talk about is on sorting for legendary. So let's say I wanted to look at some Blackthorn's boots, right? You can't actually use these search parameters here. You can't use values there to sort through all of the Blackthorn's boots that are, this is just a crazy example, right? And that's kind of a big deal because these items are completely different, right? Like this one's got strength dex, and then here we have dex vit, and I mean the rolls in them are completely different. You're looking for something quite specific. So what you can do instead of typing this in, which for me it's typing this in is always useless, I never do it. Instead, I will go and do a search that tries to find the boots in a particular way. So let's try to find an Andariel's Visage, the legendary helmet. So I know that it's level 58, and I know that it's legendary, and I know that it has crit chance, and let's say I want to see all the strength versions that have a socket. So now I'm looking at Andariel's Visages, and all of these have a socket, and all of them are the strength versions. It saves you a lot of time. It's a way for you to actually search for the item that you want. Sometimes, however, legendary items don't have the property that you want to. Okay, they have a property that you cannot search for. For example, Andariel's Visage has attack speed, but that's not a legal attribute for helms. You cannot search for attack speed here. So if you're trying to find, for example, the Blackthorn's boots, and an example there for the Blackthorn's boots is that the Blackthorn's boots has reduced damage from elites, but that's not a valid property for boots. So what you have to do if you want to find the Blackthorn's boots is actually you go to all armor types, and that opens up all the options for every single piece of armor. And then you can go, okay, reduce damage from elites, so I'll put 2% there. And I want movement speed. So these two first ones are going to show me the Blackthorn's boots, and then I can add a third parameter, which will actually be the searching one. So I want resist all. Okay, so these are all the Blackthorn's boots currently on the auction house that have at least 55 resist. I used this trick in another video where I wanted to see only the string of ears that had a certain reduced damage from melee. So if you, again, reduced damage from melee is not a valid property for belts. So if you want to search for a string of ears that is 20%, then you have to do this. So all of these are the 20% string of ears on the auction house. And you can, for most legendaries, you can make a search that will reveal it. Some of them you're going to get like 2 or 3 different ones mixed in, but you can still usually have at least one parameter where you can search for a role on that legendary that you're interested in. So like socket on a helmet or something like that. So there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that is when you're searching for items that can have sockets, all right? Well, first of all, if you're going to sell something on the auction house and it has a socket, put a gem in there. Gems cost like 100 gold, and they make your item much easier to find because the properties of the gem actually get included. So let's say I have some pants that have 170 vitality. With an empty socket, I can toss in a vitality gem in there, make it have 204 vitality, and then easily find, more easily, that pants will be found on the auction house because the search for 200 vitality will locate it. And then there's the flip side. Since putting the gem in makes your item more visible, when you're trying to buy an item on the cheap, looking for the good deals, you want to search for items that did not have the gem put in the socket. Now there's no real easy way to do this, but I find that I got the best deals from just searching for the pieces that don't have gems in. So let's say I want to look for pants here. Actually, let's make it a chest, and I want it to have sockets, so I'll say 3 sockets. So now looking at these, I find that let me just put a max bow here. I don't like looking at these ones with bids, but like looking at these, the best deals will be the ones that have empty sockets. So I just quickly scan through and look only at those, right? So by doing this, I'm able to find the ones that no one else is seeing, and then I can get better prices. Like if there was a good deal, if someone listed an item for less than it's worth, and it has empty sockets, the odds are that not many people are going to find them. So that person could be you if you just follow this, and eventually you might find something down here that has the empty sockets. Okay, so I found one there. That's not bad. That's not bad. You can make this have quite a bit of stats on it, right? So this is just an example for 500k. Maybe this is a good deal. I don't know. But compared to the other ones at this price, look how much worse. Look how much worse they are. Well, maybe not that one, but you know they're worse because this one here met your search criteria without the gems. So that's just the last thing I had to talk about. I hope these tips helped you, and good luck on the auction house. Hey guys, I wanted to add one last tip, and that is that if you click on this little pile of gold here while holding down shift, it actually links the item that you sold, and it's going to give you not a valid chat recipient. That's fine, but you can click it here and you can see the item that you sold if you're curious, and maybe that'll help you.